I never cease to be amazed by the number of perfectly respectable brethren, who continue to quote the two Babylons during a public lecture on Trinitarianism in an attempt to prove that the Trinity is false. The Oneness Pentecostal author David Bernard cited Hislop as his first scholarly reference in support of the pagan roots of the doctrine of the Trinity. Trinitarian scholar Alexander Hislop asserts that the Babylonians worshipped one God in three persons, and used the equilateral triangle as a symbol of this Trinity. In his book, Hislop shows pictures used in ancient Assyria and in Siberia to represent triune divinities. He also finds Trinitarian ideas in the Babylonian cult of the Father, Mother, and Child, saying that the Babylonian Trinity was the eternal Father, the Spirit of God incarnate in a human mother, and a divine Son, the fruit of that incarnation. Contrary to popular belief, Alexander Hislop makes absolutely no attempt to disprove Trinitarianism itself. Indeed, he refers to it as the original patriarchal faith and that sublime mystery of our faith. He also says, while overlaid with idolatry, the recognition of a Trinity was universal in all the ancient nations of the world, proving how deep-mated in the human race was the primeval doctrine on this subject, which comes out so distinctly in Genesis. Proving beyond any shadow of a doubt that his sympathies lie with Trinitarianism. Why, then, do people insist on deferring to this book, as if it constitutes the ultimate anti-Trinitarian resource? The answer is simple. Like Alexander Hislop, they have allowed their biases to cloud their judgment. They skim over his pious references to the Trinitarian dogma, focusing only on his rabid anti-Catholicism. They applaud his assault on the Catholic tradition of representing the Trinity by means of statues, images and icons. They cheer his derision of pagan motifs, without comprehending the motivation behind it. They see Hislop as anti-Trinitarian, and yet, the reality is very different. He is fulminating against the misappropriation of his beloved Trinity by the old heathens, and the idolatrous representation of the Trinity by human artificers. Having eventually waded through Alexander Hislop's labyrinth of proofs, the indiscerning reader will conclude that the ultimate target of Hislop's polemic is Trinitarianism itself. Alas, nothing could be further from the truth. Observe the context of the following tirade. The three heads are different arranged in layered specimen, but both alike are evidently intended to symbolize the same great truth of the Trinity, although all such representation of the Trinity necessarily and utterly debase the conceptions of those, among whom such images prevail, in regard to the sublime mystery of our faith. Need I say more? Even a superficial reading is enough to tell us that these are not the words of an anti-Trinitarian. They are, in fact, the words of a zealous Trinitarian. How, then, can Alexander Hislop's book be successfully employed as a weapon against the Trinitarian dogma? The answer is simple: it can't.